Available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. A British woman faces the possibility of execution by firing squad for stabbing a man allegedly in self-defense in Dubai.
An influencer from the UK is facing death by firing squad after being charged with the murder of her boyfriend in Dubai. 23-year-old Brooke George claims she stabbed her partner in self-defense, according to Campaign Group detained in Dubai. They say Brooke claimed he'd become increasingly controlling and abusive on their second trip to the city, and that she was trying to leave Dubai after he violently attacked her and withheld her passport. In a statement, her mum said the day before the incident, Brooke was not herself, and that she believes she was desperately trying to get home and away from whatever had happened to her. Detained in Dubai say those closest to Brooke think she may have been lured to Dubai under false pretenses for the purpose of exploitation. They're calling for the 23-year-old to be released on bail and for the case to be dealt with as domestic violence. The UK government has said it's supporting a British woman detained in the UAE and her family.
Now, according to reports, Brooke George, a 23-year-old former department store worker from Kent in England and social media influencer on TikTok, was charged with the murder of her unidentified 26-year-old boyfriend, who she allegedly met on Facebook. And according to reports, Brooke George, after meeting this man on Facebook, began having an online relationship with him and eventually wound up looking to meet this man in person in Dubai. Now, as Brooke George met this man in Dubai, she says that she basically, on their first visit to the country, what happened was that she had the time of her life in that first visit that only lasted a week. And as she was enjoying this experience of traveling to Dubai, she basically was feeling some sort of concerns as related to red flags, because this man asked her to participate in a bikini-clad professional photo shoot that he arranged allegedly during their first visit. Now, in that first visit, she had such a good time in Dubai with this man that she basically was eager to continue the relationship with him. And as she was looking to continue this relationship with this man, she then was eager to go on a second trip to Dubai with this man, and that's where she started to realize that things were not right as related to this man and his possible motives for having a relationship with her. Now, according to Brooke, she says that she basically, as she was living in the apartment with this man in Dubai, she saw some disturbing videos on this man's computer and also discovered that this man had only booked a one-way ticket for her, and that left her extremely concerned and wanting to return home. However, Brooke did go to an Irish bar with this man where he became intoxicated and allegedly assaulted her in the vehicle before then continuing the assault after they returned to the apartment. And that's where Brooke then contacted her family in a panic after he allegedly hit her. And after arranging a flight home with her own money, she claims that she found her belongings strewn across the apartment when she went back to get her passport. And as she was looking to try to get her passport, that's where she was allegedly punched in the face by this man. And after she was punched in the face by this man, this assault basically led to Brooke basically fearing for her life. And that's where she reached for a kitchen knife and then allegedly acted in self-defense, looking to take the life of this man to save her own life. Now, this whole situation with Brooke George is quite troubling, and the people in Dubai basically see it as a crime where they want to go out here and try Brooke George for murder, and the penalty for that crime in Dubai is that a person can be executed by firing squad if they are found guilty of murdering someone in that country. Now, the police in Dubai are seeing this as an isolated incident. However, when I take a critical examination of the whole story revolving around Brooke George, it definitely fits within the pattern of behavior of cyber simps that I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Now, what's happening with Brooke George is sadly what happens with many of these women who go out here and call themselves social media influencers. And these social media influencers, basically, they go online looking to get attention from many of these men out here. And as they're looking to get attention from these men out here, what happens is that these female predators, in some cases, wind up being preyed on by these cyber simps. And these cyber simps, basically what these guys are looking for is a woman that they can go out here and be able to participate in their acts of debauchery and sexual deviancy. And that's what it looks like the guy that Brooke George was involved with was looking to do. And what this guy was looking to do was go out here and present himself as this ideal rich man in an effort to go out here and lay the bait for women like Brooke George. And as he was looking to lay that bait, he was hoping that he would be able to find some woman who would look to get involved with him. And Brooke sadly wound up taking that bait, like many women do on social media, because what happens with these women is that what they do is they look to go out here and present the persona of a social media influencer. Meanwhile, what they really are doing is some low-key escorting, and they're doing some low-key escorting by going out here to get with this guy. And as they look to get with this guy, they go out here and look to drop the skid mark jockey thong to give this guy a taste of the atomic waste from the special place in exchange for the trip that they participate in. And in some cases, these women, as they're flown out to Dubai, as they're getting with these rich guys, they go out here and not only give this guy a taste of the atomic waste, but also wind up practicing in some of the sexual deviancy and debauchery that these men want to participate in, like golden showers and brown showers and other types of deviant acts. And they basically go out here, do those deviant acts, leave the skeleton bones in Dubai, fly back to their country, and then act like nothing happened in their home country, going out here presenting themselves as Little Miss Sweet and Innocent. That's what many of these modern women go out here and do on the regular when they go out here and get flown out to Dubai. But in the case of Brooke George, what she ran into was one of these cyber simps who was definitely possibly into this stuff based on what she says she found on his computer as related to possibly the disturbing acts she possibly saw on that computer, possibly seeing things like sodomy or things like what they call scat or things like corpophilia, possibly saw a bunch of this deviant stuff. And as she saw this deviant stuff on this computer, that's when she basically started to become concerned, because the fantasy she had of being taken away and being swept away by a rich man basically turned into a dark reality. And as it turned into this dark reality, that's where this woman found out that her knight in shining armor, or her Prince Charming, was not a prince at all, but really a demon like an incubus. And this demon was looking to go out here, and as they were looking to book this one-way flight for her to go to Dubai, look to possibly go out here and participate in not only some sort of deviant act as related to violating this woman's body, he was also looking to possibly take this woman's life and leave her in Dubai, possibly as an actual skeleton bones as related to that country, because if a guy goes out here and commits this type of crime, again, he can go to that country and basically have it completely covered up. That's what this guy possibly was thinking to do. However, as Brooke was picking up on the red flags as related to this guy, that's where Brooke started to realize that she was in danger. And as she realized she was in danger, that's where she basically was looking to try to get out of this situation that she got herself into with this cyber simp. And that's what was possibly happened in this whole case. This woman basically thought, hey, here's this guy on social media presenting himself as this high-value rich man, this man of my dreams, this man who's giving me attention and also wants to go out here and look to present me as some sort of fashion model as related to this type of photo shoot. Again, looking to try to make it look like he was looking to elevate this woman and put her on a pedestal. That's what this guy was looking to do as he took her to this foreign country. And sadly, as Brooke was out here, she was completely distracted by this whole facade that this guy was participating in. And as she was distracted by this whole facade, that's where this guy basically showed the monster that he was. Now, some are speculating that this guy wanted to go out here, and what he wanted to do was go out here and possibly traffic this young woman, and that might be a possibility when it comes down to these type of predators. These type of predators, what they look to do is they look to go out here, and again, they look to prey on women out here who go out here and go on social media and post up a lot of pictures, and they look to find these women and then use them for their deviant trafficking rings and look to exploit those women. That's what they look to do in some of these possible cases, and that's what Brooke might have been running into. But what I really believe that she ran into was one of these nice guy cyber simps who again will put up the facade of, oh, I can be this ideal boyfriend, when in actuality he's basically a monster. And this monster, what he wanted to do was he wanted to again participate in all sorts of deviancy and debauchery with this woman, and then look to go out here and cover the skeleton bones in an effort to keep his world smooth. This is what we see again as related to guys and online. And again, when it comes down to folks online in general, what happens is that women like Brooke George will put up pictures on social media to get the attention of men, not understanding that when it comes down to these guys out here that are online, if they're looking to go out here and try to get with a woman online, that in and of itself is a red flag. And it's a red flag because when it comes down to any guy who's usually going online, he's going online in many cases because, one, he doesn't have good interpersonal skills as related to going out here and looking to talk to women. Two, he basically is a guy who possibly has something to hide, because any man out here who can go out here and is interested in women can be transparent and go out here and talk to women. But if a guy is online and he's talking to you, that's a red flag in and of himself, because usually from my personal experience, I'm doing research for books like The Man Crisis and The Woman Crisis. I've found that the only guys who do online dating, like I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, are usually the guys at the bottom of society. And yeah, there are a lot of guys with money at the bottom of society, and you'll see them in places like strip clubs, you'll see them in places like bars, and they'll go out here and again fly a woman out to Dubai and participate in all sorts of deviancy and debauchery after giving her the time of her life. And what happens is that those women will go out here and be so caught up in their emotions, because women are emotional. They'll be so caught up in their emotions about, again, the low key, the good time that they had as related to their life, that they can't see that this guy is looking to enter them in a covert contract as related to the low key escorting that they've done. Now, that's basically the whole situation that Brooke George got herself in, because when she looked to go out here and fly out to Dubai, she basically, possibly as I see it, possibly knew, hey, I'm going out here thinking I'm going to be able to pull a finesse on this dude, go out here and look to go out here and low-key go out here and have me a good time at the expense of this simp. And if I have to give him a taste of the atomic waste from the special place after dropping the skid mark jockey draws, that's what this woman was looking to do. Again, low-key escorting. That's what a lot of chicks do. They call it a relationship, but what they're actually doing is going out here and low-key going out here and giving this guy an exchange of some draws for the time of their life. And as they go out here and look to do the low-key escorting as these social media influencers, again, they use social media as a way to cover all the ratchet stuff that they're doing. And as they look to use social media influencer, the title, to cover it up, they go out here and be getting with all sorts of men on the low, and then again will come back to where they used to live, like this woman going back to Kent, putting on the face of the sweet and innocent girl who didn't really do anything, but will actually have all, like I said before, all them skeleton bones in the closet as related to the guys that she was getting with. She has basically been getting turned out by these type of guys and will go out here and play sweet and innocent. That's what happens all the time with these women who go on sites like IG or sites like the OOF website. They'll go on them websites, again, taking all them pictures, talking about they modeling, and you don't know what they doing on the low. And they'll be going back to their jobs. Like this woman, she said she's a social media influencer, but she was basically working retail. And what they do is, as they're going out here trying to be this social media influencer, again, doing all sorts of dirt underground. And again, they get caught up in a situation. And as they get caught up, they think, oh, I can go into this foreign country and it'll be like the UK. Unfortunately, when this woman went into Dubai, that whole argument of self-defense and domestic violence, it didn't fly in that country, because when it comes to Dubai basically is one of these Islamic countries, and it has a whole series of rules as related to their Islamic law. And a lot of women, when they go to these countries, they are in for a rude awakening. Like many of these black women wind up in a room for a rude awakening. I remember two stories. One black woman basically thought she could go out here and have this bad attitude and this big mouth, and she wound up shocked when she found out, oh, that don't go in Dubai. You can't go out here getting loud with people because they'll lock you up. And I remember another woman who was a truck driver, I believe. She went out here and started acting crazy, and they dealt with her. And this white woman basically thought she could go into this country and it would be just like in the UK, where if a guy get up in your face or start some mess, you can go out here and defend yourself under the DV policies. But in that Islamic country, they don't play those type of rules, because in that country, the man is supreme. And with the man being supreme, his word is law. And that's what, again, many of these guys who are cyber simps and these perverts and sexual deviants know. They know if they go over to this country, this Islamic country, Dubai, they can go out here and get away with stuff, because in that country, a woman is basically seen as property. And for these type of beta males, again, when they are looking at women, they don't see women as people. No, they see women as objects. And that's what makes them want to go to Dubai, places like Dubai. They want to go to countries like Dubai because they can go out here and they use a woman's body like an object as they participate in their debaucherous and perverted acts as they go out here and participate in their debaucherous and perverted acts, they can go out here and be shielded by the law as related to participating in that debauchery and be able to go back to where they came from because the acts took place in that country. That's what those men understand. And a lot of these women, all they're doing is getting in their feelings about their good time they're going to be having by being able to be in one of these luxury apartments, be able to go shopping at these luxury stores, and be able to ride around in limousines and luxury cars, not understanding that these guys are basically, again, using this as bait, selling these women a fantasy as related to the dream life that these women want to live, and in order for them to be able to create the nightmare scenarios where they can go out here and participate in their deviancy and debauchery and exploitation and have the possible support of the government. Because in the case of Brooke George, what happened was, as this woman basically then looked to report this crime, what happened was she was basically, after she was reported the crime, she was arrested. She was then forced to strip naked in front of male officers with no female officers present, and was completely humiliated because she wasn't allowed to contact the British Embassy and was forced to make statements without a lawyer present. Basically, this country looked to railroad this woman the same way that the U.S. railroaded Carmelo Anthony, and that's what they looked to do again in Dubai. And this woman basically, she thought, oh, I'll travel to this country, again, looked to pull this finesse, but sadly got finessed because she got involved with this psycho cyber simp. She got involved with this psycho cyber simp, and this psycho cyber simp was looking to go out here and do one of two things. He was looking to either take her life after doing whatever he wanted to her body, or he was looking to go out here and possibly traffic this woman, because that's why he booked the one-way flight, because when some of these guys, they are couriers for these people in trafficking rings, and they're looking to go out here and look to make money on going out here and putting white women into trafficking. And this woman, sadly, she wound up falling for the bait as related to this guy. She wound up falling for the bait as related to this man. And this is the trap that many of these so-called social media influencers wind up falling in and wind up, in many cases, missing. But this woman, basically, she is in a situation that's just as bad, because now she's at the prospect of possibly being put in front of this firing squad unless these guys in England don't go out here and use a flex of the system of white supremacy to basically get this woman out of this jam. Because when it comes down to these Islamic countries, what they will again fall back when it comes down to a white person, because they don't want to alienate those white people who basically, again, are the ones who provide them with resources and protection. Yeah, they got money and all that, but they basically, I don't see them going out here and killing no white woman through no firing squad. Now, they may do that with a black woman, but even in the case of that, again, with diplomacy, that those two black women were basically let go and learned a hard lesson about life in Dubai. And this white woman possibly going to learn a hard lesson about going out here and doing that type of low-key stuff. She's going to learn, hey, you can't, when you go to these foreign countries, you call yourself calling to pull this finesse, but the whole thing is you don't understand the bigger picture as related to these finesses. Again, this woman thought she could finesse a finesser, and sadly got herself in a situation where she found out the hard way that many of these guys out here ain't what you think they are. And it'll be a miracle if she does get out of this with her life. But the whole thing is that when it comes down to these chicks like this think, oh, I'll put up this thing of saying I'm a social media influencer. Meanwhile, they doing dirt in them streets. They doing a lot of dirt in these streets. Again, they'll present, oh, I'm a social media influencer on a place like TikTok. Meanwhile, underneath, what they doing is taking messages in the DMs, looking to go out here and let these dudes go out here and possibly smash behind in countries like Dubai, as they say that they're taking pictures. Because I guarantee you, possibly this woman possibly gave this guy the draws and a taste of that atomic waste on that trip because she was having a good time. And as she was there, he possibly bought her a bunch of stuff, made her think that she was going to, again, be that one. And then on the second trip, he then went out here and switched it up on her. And as he switched it up on her, that's when she found out, oh, this Prince Charming wasn't what I thought he was. And that's what happened in this situation with this female. And again, basically happened because she got involved with this guy as related to things and didn't understand. Again, if you're on these online platforms, again, the men who are on these online platforms, and even some of these women on these online platforms, I'll repeat it once more for those who just don't get it. These are the bottom of the barrel people. And again, they're online for a reason. They're online because they can't really make it in the real world. They can't make it in the real world of dating and relationships. And the reason why they're going online is because they have something to hide. And any smart person out here understands if this person is looking to talk to me online, there's definitely that's the first red flag. And that's the red flag that I've got to see and understand that this is somebody I need to avoid, because if somebody wants to come to me, again, you want to meet them face to face in the first meeting so you can get a sense of their personality, a sense of their vibe, and have a way to escape. That's what you want in those situations. You want to be in a place that's public, and you want to be in a place where you can go out here and look out for your safety. That's what this woman did not understand. And a lot of people, again, don't understand. Again, there's a lot of, again, really unsavory people online, and you can't trust most of what you're seeing online because people can, like I said in Stop Simping in Cyberspace, create all sorts of personas to pretend to be whatever they want. And you won't know if you're dealing with Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde until you go out here and see the actual person you're meeting online. Now, if you want to learn how to identify online predators, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in Cyberspace at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to see me make more videos talking about relationships online and social media influencing, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and e-readers this October. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this spooktacular Spinsterella story. Pick up your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.